The thing that's helped me the most in the last 5 years, no doubt, is cold exposure. I watched a Wim Hof video 5 years ago, and our buddy Nikki B and I, we got fired up.
Shout out.
Shout out to Nikki B. And, we put ourselves in those situations that feel uncomfortable. Started off with cold showers. And, you and I were roommates at the time. I remember
Yeah.
blasting some Eminem and just going to
I was like,
town,
this guy's crazy.
just fired up.
It's like cold showers.
Cold
Some
showers.
Tony Robbins guy.
Just biohacking. I've always been obsessed with finding different ways naturally to let the body do what it needs to do. But I won't lie, I started off just getting amped up for those cold showers. But then what I realized is what cold showers really did is it exposed me to something very uncomfortable. And when you're in an uncomfortable situation, you're only focused on that moment. You're focused on that cold water hitting you, breathing through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you start doing that time and time again. And then a stressful situation comes in your life. And then you focus on, what did I do in that cold shower? I took some deep breaths in. I worked on a long exhale, and I felt my heart rate slow down, and I felt more control. And I think the body is a huge machine.
Mm-hmm.
There's no man-made machine. I don't care. AI is coming along freaking way.
Yeah.
But we have something inside us called innate intelligence that naturally allows our body to regulate itself. But what happens is we're bombarded with information, stress, way too much stimulation from screens. In the world we live in these days, it's so hard. So going back to the 40s, there's times when, man, it probably wouldn't have been so bad because life was simple.
Mm-hmm.
However, you couldn't order, Grubhub
No.
and
No.
get it in 30 minutes.
No.
So it's controlling the environment, I think, is the biggest key to this situation.
Another thing is deliberately being thankful in the moment for what's going on at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gratitude. So we are all thankful for anything and everything around us.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't actually tell ourselves, hey, that is really cool right there, and I'm very thankful for that, you don't get those benefits that you would, if you're just running around and living life. I noticed once I started actually going, hey, I'm really thankful for that right there. And I started doing, and my wife helps me out. She's a social worker and a mental health specialist. So she's taught me a lot of things about that. And she would ask me, what are 3 things that you liked about today? Mm. And it seems like I'm like, nah, yeah, I don't want to like, I mean, I had plenty of it. But until you make yourself actually think about it, I mean, I found myself being very flustered, frustrated, because I was like, I don't want to think about that. Everything, it was good. But then when I finally used that exercise multiple times, I started digging deeper, because I wanted to not use the same 3 over and over and over. So, the next day in my brain, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, what is something else? And so you start digging deep and deeper and deeper, and all of a sudden you find this whole bag full of stuff that is awesome about your life. And back to, you're talking about how negative we are. Isn't it amazing how negative we are as humans? And it's so frustrating. Mm-hmm. You wake up in the morning, you can get you some coffee, whatever you like to drink, and everything's good. And by the time you get to work, you're just pissed off for no reason.
The number one tool that I could give right now, if you could just do this right now, it's to lay down, whether it's your couch or whether it's your bed, in a dark room, shut off all the pressure and the noise, focus on deep breaths in through the nose, 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. If you really want to get in some good breathing exercises, Wim Hof has an amazing technique, pretty intense. So maybe start off with some basic stuff, but just listen, feel your body. What is it telling you? Where do you want to go? Dispenza talks about these life-altering moments that really cause you to make that switch. Mm-hmm. And life is so precious. And what happens is you go on through life and you're living, and then something bad happens. We're all going to experience death. We're all going to experience heartache. And sometimes it's those moments that are life-changing moments. And so you realize from a different perspective how grateful you are. How grateful you were to have that time with your grandfather. Mm-hmm. How grateful you are to have that time with your loved ones, or our patients, and just embracing that every single moment, and just putting in a little light in every single person you come across, and you will become fulfilled. You'll feel your heart kind of pump up. You'll feel the warmth and the love. And And it's such a scary time right now with stress and anxiety and hate. But again, you want to go on to there's so much good in the world right now too,
Yep.
and we don't dwell on that because it's not exciting.